Hey, what's going on, champs? I'm Aaron Deliosa. Welcome to an Immigrant's Life podcast, my podcast about immigrants, immigration, and everything in between. Second week of December, 1 week before Christmas. I hope you guys are doing well and not stressing too much about it. Because really, who cares what kind of gifts you'll get or you'll give? What matter is you and your family have good health. Speaking of good health, I'm glad you have good health to listen to our podcast, An Immigrant's Life, which you can find on all the podcast platforms and on YouTube. And if you'd like to interact with us, hit us up on all the social media at An Immigrant's Life. We'd love to hear from you, like what we heard from Vienna in Milan. She said, "Hello everyone. I've been listening to Aaron Deliosa's podcast, An Immigrant's Life. I recommend this to everyone because you can learn a lot about life and experiences of other immigrants as well. Oh man, it's educational, interesting, and entertaining show. This kind of podcast should be out and loud. Kudos, Aaron." Thank you so much for that, Vienna. We really appreciate you. That's all dealt with. Now, let's talk about this week's episode. I love this week's guest because he's so kind, gentle, and so zen out. Talking to him made me feel so at peace, and I hope you feel the same listening to him. So, without further ado, let's get into the show. Isa, dalawa, tatlo. Today's guest is a singer-songwriter, an explorer, and a social media superstar. Coming from the land of the midnight sun, in the way of the land of smiles. Everyone, please welcome Nate Zeth.
Sawadee krap, Aaron.
Sawadee krap, Nate. How you doing, my man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. First of all, thank you for coming on the podcast. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure.
Awesome. Before we continue, if you want to promote anything, go ahead, my man.
Well, I'm a musician and I live in Norway. I've been working on my music the last 2 years, but I finally got it out this year, earlier in February and in March. My 2 singles, Better My Dreams and Equals, are out now. So I just want to say thank you to my team that's been working with me, and we're grateful for the chance and the opportunity.
I love those songs, by the way. I'll talk
Thank
to you more about that, but I want to talk about you, Nate, the person. I saw it on your profile that you said you were born in the jungle of Thailand. Let's start there. Which part of Thailand were you born?
Well, it's a little bit north for Bangkok. It's like 4 or 5 hours drive. And it's like there was nothing there, almost. It was like landy. The thing about that part is that it was I didn't know much about the other world. We was poor and we didn't travel a lot to, didn't have money. So the thing about born in the jungle, the life there was quite different. I lived there for almost 9 years. And I was so lucky to, get the chance to live here in Norway.
Yes. So you actually live in the jungle,
Yeah, it was almost like a jungle. We we live at first in tree house, you see. Oh, I should send you some pictures. But
you live in a tree house?
It was like a tree house at first,
dude, for sure.
And then later on, it was more normal to the society develop it, and it was it was more normal to get out and get a job and then buy something and eat something like that. not just go out and hunt. Yeah.
Oh shit, you really like lived a life.
Yeah, I kind of did, but as well as I was so lucky to go to school as well. But that's because I didn't live with my mother or my parents. I live with my grandparents and my auntie and uncle. It was different for me at that moment.
Oh, so your mom and your dad sent you out to live with your grandma and grandpa, and which I'm assuming lives in the civilization, as they say.
Yeah, it was a little bit off of normal life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I would say, but and we was also very poor, so it felt like you didn't have much. You couldn't choose to wish for something. It was like if you want a toy,
Mhm.
you have to make it.
Yeah.
Like so it was like you have if you want a horse, you have to take down the banana trees and then make a horse out of it. So
Yeah, yeah, hells yeah,
it was like
bro.
yeah, and then you go out and
Bro, I completely understand. I grew up poor too. We had like I love what you said. Like, you want a toy, you make it.
yeah, that's that's true about it.
Yeah, we used to play with discarded tires.
Yeah,
That or like you said, like cut down a tree and then make something out of it. Like it could be a gun, it could be a horse, it could be anything.
yeah.
That's awesome, man. So when you were sent to your grandparent, how did you feel? How was your life then? Did you feel like it got better, or you were still struggling?
I was so little, man. I was like 1 or 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I live with my mother and my real father, but I don't have any contact with my father or something like because my mother took the decision to go out and then get a job and explore, and then sent my grandparents some money to take care of me because that's pretty normal. She couldn't have any chance to take care of me, and she was only like 17 years old. It was 16 when
Oh,
she was pregnant. So got me when she was 17.
were you the
So
eldest? Do you have siblings?
I do have siblings, but they are only half for Steph.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here I have like three brothers.
Mm-hmm.
One with a half from my mother's side and my stepfather's side,
Mm-hmm.
who I do call my father, and he's like for me, he's my real dad.
Yeah, he's the one that was
Today.
there for you.
Yeah. So I'm very lucky to have a family here and a family in Thailand as well.
Mm.
And then I have two stepbrothers from my father's side. I'm sure I have more brothers or sisters or something like that in in
Somewhere.
Thailand. I don't
Yeah,
know, but I'm
possibly,
sure.
possibly.
Yeah.
So how did you end up in Norway?
Well, tell you a little bit about the life before.
Yeah.
I grew up there. I was happy with my family and everything. The hardest part was the school system
Mm.
because they beat you and everything, and it was like what? No, I was like I didn't want to go to school because if you do something wrong, you get hit by a bamboo stick or something like that.
Hells yeah. Were you
And
good in
it
school
was
though?
like what?
Were you good in school though?
Well, I will say if you have like a dice, it was like 3 to 4 at that time because knowledge was not the strongest thing in my family in school systems because they didn't go to school, many of them. So in Thailand, it's like, okay, when you're 10, then you're grown up. Then you can go
Oh,
out and work for your family and do
that's
something.
crazy.
It felt like they prepared us to live the life to take care of yourself and your family. So I did everything there. I learned a lot. So I've been eating a lot of different things, and it was cool. But how I end up in Norway? Well, when I was 6 years old, my mother met my stepfather. It was like a romance thing. She was working at a restaurant in I think it was Phuket, or yeah. My father was on a vacation and they fell in love. So he came back and then they married. And then she took off to Norway when I was around 6 or 7. And then she lived there like 3 years before I came to Norway, because the only language she could was like Thai and then a little bit English at that time. And then so she had to settle in Norway to make sure that she can take care of herself here. And it was a little bit difficult to get me in this country as well. And then they had my little brother together. And so it was like they had a baby, and then she had to go to Norwegian school to learn Norwegian. And then luckily for me, she wanted to bring me back. So I didn't live with any parents for like 8 years and 11 months.
8 years, 11 months, no parents, just grandma and grandpa, right?
Yeah, it was at 7 or 6. I lost my grandmother. So
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so it was a little bit hard because she was my mother in Thailand at that time. So my grandfather was like, guys in Thailand, they are, but he was very kind. He took me everywhere, but it was like my aunt and uncle who took care of me. They also had a daughter, and we was like a little bit family. She was my new mom, and my uncle was like my new dad. So it was a changing of thing, but it felt like life was good, but still I didn't have any parents around me that I could, run to and cry to.
Yeah, you wanted that parenting love.
Yeah, I missed that a lot, even though I got it, but it was not the same because I knew at that time my mother lives other place, another country.
So how did she keep in touch? Because I don't know which year was this, but was she like writing a letter, like an actual letter, or calling a phone? How did she communicate your mother?
Well, at that time, it was a lot of letter as well. And I moved to Norway in 1999. So I think it was 1995, 1996 or 1997, my mother moved here. But at the time, I think they called some neighbors who got a phone, and I think it was like the phone that everybody rang to. The only numbers around
exactly.
there.
We had the same thing. It was our neighbor, because my mom worked in Hong Kong for a long time. Every time she called, the neighbor will come and say, "Yo, your mom's calling. Get there in 2 minutes." And so you run to the neighbor's house. And then you'll be like, the funny part is like you'll be talking to them, and sometimes you're sad, you're young, and you're crying or laughing or whatever, and the neighbor's standing watching you. Such an awkward position.
Yeah, it was like special times. So sometimes they call my aunt and uncle, and to to confirm that they sent some money or anything like that. So it was, we didn't get much in touch actually, but they came to visit when they went to holiday, and I went to my first holiday when I was 7 years old. So they took me to Phuket and to the Bangkok city as well. It was like, oh my god, a shopping mall. This is big, this big city, and it was a concrete city. It was
What is this
amazing.
magical place?
Yeah. I was with them for 1 week. They took me to Bangkok, and then they took me to Phuket. I saw the beach for the first time, and we did fly. So it was like my first time flying,
No
actually.
way.
So it was like I felt very lucky, but I couldn't tell. No, nobody believed me in school though.
What do you
My
mean?
friend, no, because they built some airplanes, like toy airplanes. Like they built, oh yeah, airplanes should be like the airplanes from clay has like 3 wheels. So I was like, no, it's a lot more wheels. It's like big wheels, and it's not like
They
that,
couldn't believe you.
Yeah,
That
yeah, and the
wow.
jet motor,
That's funny, man.
the engine was like it's so different. It was like, no, it's not like that, and they was like, no, you're lying. No, this is true. So
That's
nobody
amazing,
believed
man.
me, but but it was cool to experience the holidays like that. And it was like that one time, and then sometimes they just came and visit us like for one day, and then they just left. So it was like very sad moments sometimes as well. But the first vacation, it was amazing. At the same time, when I came back, my grandma has died,
Oh my god.
and they had like funeral and everything all done because they couldn't reach us. It was like no phone
Oh.
at that time. It was 1997 or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that, and then so it's like hard to reach us.
That sucks,
So it
man.
was pretty sad, and then it felt so weird because you got your new life, your new dad. My mother is back, and I had a little brother. And then, oh, cool. I went on the holiday, and then I came back. Oh, my grandmother, she died, and she passed away. And then hours later, my mother also went back to Norway, and then left me like, oh, all right, so I'm back to scratch.
Talking about abandoning issues, eh?
Yeah, yeah, uh,
That's
totally.
funny.
So
So
it was, yeah, it was weird.
that's funny, man. I mean, I'm sorry you
Yeah,
have to
it's
go through that, but it's funny now,
yeah,
right?
it's funny now because life is so great now. So
Hells yeah, hells yeah. So you mentioned earlier when you went to Bangkok the first time, you were like, your mind was blown. What is this? A beautiful place, amazing, magical place. And then you moved to Norway, which is way, way more improved. How did you
yeah,
feel when you came to Norway? How old were you? I think you said 9 years old.
yeah, I was at that moment almost 9 years old.
Okay.
It was so different, but I didn't believe it because it was like they told me that they're going to get me sometime. And I don't know, but as a child, when you are like 6 and are missing your mother and missing parents, and you are going through a shitload of thing at school, you get abused for so long time. It felt like, and then they just told me, yeah, we are going to get you. Are you ready? Are you ready to go to Norway? Are you ready? And they told me that for like every time I met them, and like for 3 years. So and then finally I came in, and then I was so scared to go back, not because of my family, but because of the thing around me that are feeling not belonging somewhere. But I came here. The only language I could was like Thai. I didn't understand English. I didn't understand Norwegian. It was I'm lucky to come at an age where you learn. I learned the Norwegian language pretty fast. at that time, just because I was at that age, I guess. But when I came, it was in April. It was cold, but it was more lights, and my friends was pretty fine, and my brothers and family, my new family here, greeted me well, and I felt so lucky, and I got a new grandparent here, a new grandmother, and a new daddy, and uncle, and aunties. So it was like a different life. I got my mother back.
The most important
So
thing.
yeah, there was, and the school, they was so kind. You didn't have to wear uniforms, and
You don't get beat.
yeah, you don't get beat. And I heard that if you get beat, then you can tell somebody. You can tell somebody, and then they get kicked out or lose a job or something like that. So I was like, yeah, that's it. But I didn't realize that I want to stay here. I miss my grandfather, and then my aunties and uncles and my cousin. I miss them a lot. But after my first day at school, I knew that at that moment, I really want to stay here in Norway.
I don't have to break coconuts or cut banana trees.
Nope.
I like it here. Good life is good here.
Yeah, life is good here, and I felt so lucky. I got new clothes, and they had to buy me new clothes because it's colder. So I get a new jacket. Oh shit! I didn't, we didn't wear a lot of stuff there. It was like, okay, you have the same shorts after your school uniforms, and then the same flip flop that. But I was always barefoot, and yeah, sometimes you have to wear,
So you said it sounded like you assimilated to your new life in Norway, but the only thing that we cannot really control is the weather. What was your reaction the first time you experienced the midnight sun?
Well, it was amazing. It was like, how can it still be light? I was like, and I told my mother every day, because I was stoked by it. I was like, oh, look, it's still light. Oh, look, it's 9 p.m. and then it's still light. I told her like every day for like a month.
She's like, shut up.
I know it's light. So
that's funny.
But yeah, it was amazing. And as I grew up, I appreciated more and more. At this day, I do really appreciate it, and that's why I love to travel around Norway as well, because you can still travel at 9 p.m. and then it's still lights outside. You can you can go out and play golf. Yeah, and you can explore.
Yeah. How about that, like when it's like, so there's the midnight sun, but then what's the reverse of that?
Well, it's dark.
Yeah. How long is darkness?
Well, here where I live, it's that bad, but it's bad enough. Okay. Well, here it's from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
It's dark.
No, it's like from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. you have the lights.
Okay.
Or else it's dark. So depend if the weather is good, and you can feel like it's more light. But if it's bad and it's dark all the time, it feels like it's dark all the time. But if you go like more up in the north, it's dark like all the time.
So let's swerve a little bit. So you were growing up in Norway. Was there a lot of Thailander there, or Asians, or other ethnicities when you were growing up?
Not many in my surroundings. Everybody was white. So
Everybody's white.
yeah, everybody was white. And we also live at a place that is a little bit smaller. So this place is like everybody knows everybody. At that time, it was like around 3,000 people in
That's not
that
much.
town. Yeah, so it was everybody knew everybody, but I was one of the guys who had a little bit different color. But I felt welcome. But sometimes you get racist stuff as a kid. You
Oh
get
yeah, you got some. What kind? Do you remember?
well, it was like it can be called uh, well nigger. Even that,
People call
you
you
know,
that?
yeah.
The
As a
fuck?
child, yeah. Yeah, nigger or something like that. But I didn't hear about Asian races until I went to at the end of high school, and junior high school.
Mm.
Yeah, everybody was very kind here. But when you explore more around
Mm.
uh, other cities, it was like even more.
Mm.
Because sometimes they could call you stuff that you never heard of. It
Yeah.
was like, what are you? Oh, that's what you call Asians. Right.
Oh wow. But
So
in your town, you were okay. There was no racism towards you in your town.
no, it was not a lot of it. I didn't feel when I meet other Asians or people from other countries,
Mhm.
it felt more like I was more Norwegian because of my how I grew up with the friends that I had.
Mhm.
It was okay, and I was a kid that like to laugh and like to be positive, like
Yeah, you're a
positive.
positive guy. That's one thing I liked that I saw. Like, oh, this guy's cool, man. I wanna talk to him.
Yeah.
So, are you conscious on representing your ethnicity in everyday life, especially like, with your school or I don't know if you work?
Well, I it's very difficult for me to represent represent. Oh my god,
It's
my
okay.
word is like mixing up right
Represent.
now. Represent, yeah.
Mhm.
um, because at one point it felt like I didn't belong here
Mm.
because I was Thai, and at some point I felt like now now I'm Norwegian. Everybody sees me as Norwegian, my friends and everybody, because I do talk more like Norwegians and act like Norwegians. And then when I go back to Thailand, I say, hey, I'm Thai. And then I still speak Thai, but they don't see me as Thai anymore.
Because you're not Thai, you're Norwegian.
Yeah, I'm Norwegian now, but still, I'm Thai. Well, I'm
You look like
100.
one of them, but you're
Yeah,
inside. You're not anymore.
yeah, and they tell me as well, no, you're
Yeah.
not Thai.
Hmm. So how does that make you feel being like stuck in between cultures?
It feels it's difficult, but it depends on who you want to get around and have around you.
Mm.
So I am grateful for people around me that doesn't care about it, or I don't care much about it. I'm like I was born in Thailand, born and raised, and I was also raised in Norway, and I became a Norwegian, and I am Norwegian, and I have Norwegian passport and everything today. So I am Norwegian today,
Mhm.
but inside you know, I was born Thai, like a Buddhist or something like that. I don't believe much in different things, but I believe a lot of different things. But I represent as me, as as a Norwegian guy who actually have a story from Thailand.
That's awesome. So when you're growing up, you sounded like you suffered from dual identity.
Yeah.
Through that, how did you find yourself?
Well, I started to believe more in me, in myself, than listen to others, what they think, or what their meanings are. Because I remember the hardest part was like from 14 years old, you get more insecure and you took decisions by listening to others. Like, it could be in sports, like in football, soccer. And it was like, oh, you're good at being a keeper, for example. Then you listen to them. Yeah. Then I go and be a keeper. Oh, you're good at defending. Oh, cool. Then I'll be a defender. So I listen to others. But now today, it's more like, if I want to be a professional golfer, okay, I go and try to be that. Not because others thinks I'm good at it, just because I believe I can do it, like my music as well.
Yeah, you mentioned golfing. So
Yeah.
you're trying to be a professional golfer?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you are professional?
Well, I'm not professional anymore. I'm not. I never been that, but I tried to be that for a few years. So I went on tournaments around in Norway, tried to reach out in Europe, but you have priorities about your use of money.
Oh yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, because it's very expensive. So I had to take a choice, but I'm grateful for that learning, because when I went out and try out, I found out that I didn't want that life. Yeah, I didn't want that life.
Why?
Because it was, okay, one normal round can take around 4 hours, and then you have to practice.
Yeah.
Do the trainings as well, and that's like 4 more hours, and then maybe more. So it was difficult to handle things around you, and it was difficult because in Norway it's such a short season. You have only the summer season.
Okay. What do you like about golf?
Well, I learn a lot being patient at golf and being out there to try to beat yourself, because that's what it's all about. You play against yourself, unless you're playing at tournaments. But when you're the best part with golf is to just go out and try to be better for yourself. So it's like people do yoga and stuff like that. I do golf. That's like my thing.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking of trying to try golf, because here's the thing, okay? I like what you said about it's really about yourself. It's you against yourself.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you, I might get addicted, which is not good, right? But the thing is, when I was younger, I used to play billiards, pool.
Yeah.
And I was really good. I mean, I was really good, right? And then I stopped playing for years and years. And now if I play billiards, I get so frustrated because I'm not good anymore, because, I haven't practiced. And I don't, it takes so much time to practice, like you said about golf. And I think that's what's stopping me, is like, I don't have time to perfect this thing and be good at it. But even though I do want to be good at it, right? That's why I don't want to try golf.
Well, if you play billiard, I think you can, if you was good in billiard, you probably can be good in golf as well, because it's about getting the balls in the hole.
That's pretty much it, right? Like
Yeah.
that's what I used to say. I'm. It might sound condescending, but to make it simpler, it's like it's the ball, and then there's a hole. Get it there, right?
Yeah. And there's a lot of different. You can get the ball in the hole in so many ways.
Yeah.
You don't have to you don't have to to swing perfectly to get the ball up high and then land. As you can just roll it up as well. It's like so many different ways to get in the hole.
That's awesome.
So
That's cool. Who introduced you golf?
well, it started with my grandfather here in Norway, who was I was a huge fan, and then my father and mother started. Then after I went with them to the range, I really want to play. It was like, oh, this was fun. So then afterwards, the year after they started, they said to all the kids, hey, let's start playing golf. And then everybody started to play golf. So we went on vacations to play golf.
Wow.
Or we could have rent a house, and then you can just stay there and have like a vacation like others. But we had like golf courses around us, so we can go and do golf together. So it was like I was very lucky to get introduced to golf in that way.
Who's the best in your siblings? Who's like the
Well,
number one?
you're talking to him right now.
I knew you're gonna talk shit. I love it. Yeah, well, I mean, you almost got into the professional league. You must have been.
Yeah, I was in the highest league in Norway. So it was pretty cool. I've been playing in the same tournaments as many of the good professionals today.
Really?
So it was cool to see that, like, oh, I played against them once.
That's awesome, man.
So it's now I'm just like relax. I love to play like when it's sunny days.
You still love it, obviously.
Yeah, the bad thing about go is like the weather sometimes, but if in Norway, if you don't have any, there's no bad weather. There's only bad clothes.
I love that. There's no bad weather, only bad clothes.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I know. Like I said, like I live like close to a golf course, and sometimes I'm passing by, I'm shaking in my car because it's so cold, and people are playing golf. I'm like, yo,
Yeah. If
crazy,
you get
man.
addicted, you really get addicted. So
yeah, man, that's
you
amazing.
do anything
man.
for it. But it's cool if you have some buddies or something like. But or just if you want to be with yourself, just relax and take your time. And I love to be out there alone because I can focus on me and my game. That's golf. And somebody loved golf because they can see their buddies and then they can go around, take a round, or practice together. So it's a social sport as well as a mental sport for yourself.
That's beautiful. And then, so you stopped golfing. Then you decided to be a TikTok star.
Yeah. No. Well, I try to be a musician because I've been singing, since I was little. I've been singing in schools, to performing, and I liked it, but I never developed it until I was like older to understand how to do it, because I didn't have people around me that did the same thing. So when I was older, moved out, I realized that music was my passion as well. When I for example, sing or play guitar, like just for myself, writing songs, I feel like relax, and it's also a kind of it's a good thing to do to express your feelings as well, because you can feel something for a girl, you know. Then the love life, it's hard. It's tough
Yeah.
sometimes. So it goes up and down, and then I can always, if I feel this, I can always listen to a song that reminds me of it or help me out. So I really want to do that for others as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I love your music. Where did you get your talent? Like, is in your family? Was there like a singer in your family?
Well, I know my mother loved karaoke, but I don't
Every
think
Asian loves karaoke.
I know, but I don't think I have the talent from her. But I think talent don't in some areas it comes as itself, but but like everything, you have to practice.
Yeah, yeah, I agree that.
And find your way, because maybe you don't sound like Beyonce or Ed Sheeran or anybody else big, but you have to find your way. You don't have to sing exactly like them or like that, but if you want to be a good musician, or if you really like it, you should find your own way to express your feelings and your words.
Yeah, your emotions. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, like I said, I love your song Equals, but I'm gonna be honest. I prefer Better Than Dreams. That's one's better. That's
yeah,
for
that's
me.
better than my dreams. Well, I liked I love to hear that you
It's
like
really
it.
good. I mean, yo, this is good, man. I love it. So, how's your writing process? How do you do it? Like, do you sit down, or you just like walking around, doing your beautiful TikTok videos? Well, it comes in. How does it your process?
uh, Sometimes I am out in walking in the nature, and then I have my perfect partner with me, and then I look at her and I say, "Oh, I'm so lucky." That's how that's how better my dreams came out. But it all starts with a feeling, your own real feelings. I've been hurt, I've been loved, and then I try to write it in words, write it down. But the process is like, okay, I grab guitar, and then I start to just play and find the melody, and then the lyrics just come out.
So you compose the music first before you write the lyrics.
Yeah, it's 50-50 actually. Sometimes I write about what I want to say, and then I do the music to make sure it's on the right path.
By the way,
So
before we continue, I'm just gonna let the listeners know you can go on Spotify or YouTube and check out Nate Zeth. Listen to his songs Equals and Better Than Dreams. They're both amazing, but personally, I love the Better Than Dreams. I don't know. That's just for me.
thank you, man.
Yeah. So the music industry is full of ups and downs. It's a lot of challenges. What keeps you going?
What's key? It's because of well, it's not enough unless I know I touch somebody, or touch or help uh, people around me. Like, if I know that like 10,000 have listened to my music, I know I might have touched 10% of them, like for real, hopefully. And if I calculate it in that way, okay, I hope I can touch like at least 1 million people. That's my goal.
Mm.
Because I do sing about real emotions and write about it. So I want to music made me through a lot of things, like death in the family, like heartbreak, or to get love. It's all in there. So I want to do the same for the people
Hmm.
in
Those
that way.
two songs, sorry, those two songs that I mentioned, they're in English. Do you also write in Norwegian?
No, I do only write in English
Oh yeah, why?
at the moment, because I want to reach out to the world,
Yeah, great
not
idea.
only in Norway. So
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I know. I check your Spotify, and there's like very diverse listeners.
yeah, I see. I got some in Canada as well.
Montreal,
So
dude, you have like
yeah.
thousands over here. I'm like, yo, what's up with this guy?
Yeah, I was like, hey, thank you. So if you're out there, thank you so much for listening to to
Again,
me.
like I told you, it's good, man. But we want more, though. I'm selfish. I want to
Yeah,
listen more.
yeah, I am still working with EP. Do you
Mhm.
call it EP? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like a small album.
yeah, single.
Yeah, singles. So it's like yeah, we are at least working 3 songs right now. So
Awesome.
you can expect some music in the end of this year or the start of next year as well.
Can't
So we
wait.
are.
So who's this team that you're talking about?
It's Christer Gunnarsson. It's my producer, and I have the last 2 songs. I got help from my friend Alexander Wallman. He's been in Eurasian. He's been in the industry for a while, and we also have some in the US mastering.
Okay,
The Hit Lab, they got some award-winning masters. It's pretty cool
that's
to
awesome.
work with so skilled people. So I'm so grateful for the team around. So
That's amazing. So, with the COVID situation, the pandemic, you haven't really performed as much. How did you
no,
take that? And what did you do?
well, I try to developing myself as an artist, and I'm lucky to have a job that I really love, and have everything around me that doesn't take me out of focus. You know, it's a little bit bitter because of the COVID situation, since I just released the music this year. But hopefully in 2022, I will get out more and perform, set up a tour.
In Montreal.
Hey, I'm coming.
Oh man, I'll be there. I promise you. Not front seat. I don't like do the front seat. I mean more I'm like in the middle or the back.
Yeah, you can get any seat you want.
That's awesome. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So you have done and achieved so many things. You become, with your golf, you become champion with your music. But what is the thing that you are proudest so far and why?
Probably, well, it's becoming who I am actually, because without my history, I couldn't be where I am at today. Don't take anything for granted, and don't be bitter for what you don't have. Just be grateful for what you have. It was like one of those things I was taught, or the kids here in Norway, they are so spoiled. It's like I never seen so many kids, so many people being so bitter and crying over things that they don't have. Like they wish for a phone, iPhone, then they cry about it, and then at the end they get it. But most of them, I have learned that I have to be grateful for what I have. So if you are so lucky you can afford just a normal phone or anything like that, be grateful for that. Or if you get it as a gift as a child, be grateful for that. That's how I, become me.
I mean, I love that answer, man. Is that based on your Buddhism?
It might do it because I was born into it, and people around me they taught me as a Buddhist, and my mother is also a Buddhist in her mind. But what I love about Buddhist is, I don't believe much in anything, but I love the way people are as a Thailander.
I
Yeah.
love it.
So it's part of it. I learned it from people around me, my surroundings at that time, and then here I lean more into it. Actually, back to where I come from. So
That's awesome, man. Can we talk about your TikTok videos?
yes, we can. We are talking about
First of all,
Instagram and TikTok, right?
yeah, Instagram and TikTok. Yeah. I mean, I love them, dude. I'm like, yo, I feel like any minute there's gonna be like a goddamn ogre or a fairy or some like a creature that will come out and just fucking whack people up and whatever, and you have to fight them. Oh, before we forget, I don't know if you mentioned. Do you want to say your handle on Instagram and your TikTok?
Well, it's Nate Zeth. That's where you find me, Nate Zeth.
So do you travel all the time?
I love to travel. I'm actually a little bit angry for not, posting more in the early days, but I did actually travel a lot, and when I had like a website where I like travel to, because I travel around, and then I had like a show called Sheep Luxury. I went like around, like for example in Thailand, and I went to find like 5-star hotels, and but you don't have to pay more than like a shitty hotel in Norway. So it's like it was like cheap luxury. You get like a suite.
So you said you had a show. Is it like on TV or on YouTube?
No,
or?
it was on YouTube and my channel. It was on my website at that time, but I don't have it anymore. But
Why?
That's I know why. I regret that I didn't follow up it more. I had like many episodes, and I took a lot of pictures, but I didn't, and videos, but I didn't do. I didn't believe enough about it. My dream is still to travel around the world. That's why also I really want to be a golfer. But in my early 20s, I really try to find a way to travel, without working. But at that time, I really believed in it. And then the response was like too bad, because you get feedback from your friends and your family and everything. And then the worst thing is not getting feedback at all. So it was like depressing not to believe it anymore, like believe in you yourself. So at that time I didn't believe so much in myself. So I should have believed more in me at the time, of course. So now I create reels and TikTok videos.
You're the best, bro. I love this. I love it, man.
So
And like every time you post one, I'll be like, "Yo, man!" It's like when I'm dreaming, like, "Oh, someday I'm gonna be there, dude. Like, I'm gonna be there."
Yeah, and it's amazing. Norway, you get a lot for free because the nature is so beautiful here. So, but I would like to travel more around the world as well. I've been traveling a lot, in Thailand and in Europe as well. So I'm looking forward to get back to Thailand as well.
That's awesome, man. All right, I think we're getting there, but I want to ask you one more question. Is that okay?
Yeah.
So, what's your goal for the next year?
My goal for the next year is first go out and perform to the people, meet people, hopefully meet people who likes my music, and is also to finish the year with a feeling that you have done everything you could to reach your goals at work, in music, and in personal life. So that's my biggest goal.
That's beautiful. So, any last remarks before we close out?
Well, I just want to say thank you, Aaron, for taking me into this podcast. I appreciate it, and it was very nice to talking to you. So hopefully we can do it sometimes in real life.
Of course, I would love that, man. I mean, yeah, thank you again for coming on. I really do appreciate it. I know you're busy. But yeah, hey, get that music going. Come over to Montreal. We're going to party, play some golf. Well, you will play golf. I'll probably chase the ball.
Yeah, we'll see that. Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you again, my man. I really appreciate this. Have a good day.
Thank you, Aaron. Have a good day, and talk to you soon. Huh?
Thank you. Again, Nate, thank you for coming on the podcast. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, listeners, for listening. This is Aaron Deliosa for An Immigrant's Life. I'll see you guys later.